Hi everyone, welcome. Just trying to get familiar with this screen. I don't do Facebook Lives very often and there are a lot of icons that have popped up. So let me just do one thing while people are coming along. Okay, I'm going to put up my website link there. I think that should be showing. If not, I will stick it in the comments for if anyone's interested in coming along to anything. So thank you everyone for completing the poll I set up just to see who was interested in meditation or more interested in Reiki. And it turned out that 75% of you wanted to know more about meditation. So I thought this was a great opportunity to just run a little Q&A session and a little bit of a practice as well, because I know that people have a lot of questions when it comes to meditation, and I also wanted to sort of clarify what it really is. So I've collated some of the questions and there was a lot of very similar themes, so I will just try and go through everything, and if you think of any more questions, throw them in the comments, and if I see them while we're doing this, I'll reply. If not, I'll reply afterwards, okay? So first of all, what is meditation? Now, this is something that can be described as being a state of mind, which is this present moment relaxed awareness. So it's not that we zip off to another, place or daydream. We're not ruminating about thoughts. We're not sleeping. It is present moment awareness, but it's a very relaxed place to be in. And you can really only access this kind of state of mind when you're feeling physically safe, and that helps to stimulate those relaxation responses of the body. So being in a place where you're very comfortable is going to help you feel safe enough to relax and access this present moment awareness. So Melanie, I see a comment, great. Hi Melanie, hi Pam. How often should I meditate? That's a good question, and it depends on your goals. So if you are just new to meditation and you're trying it out, then probably shorter is going to be better for you, a shorter amount of time, and trying to practice every day. So I would start with a few minutes, and just to that point where you're starting to feel uncomfortable, and then adding on another minute every day that you practice. We practice every day, so it's like going to the gym. Nothing's going to change if you don't go every day. You need to see the cumulative effects of the meditation practice, and that happens with regular practice. So doing it for a short amount of time is better than trying to sit and make yourself sit for a longer period of time, because you're better to sit and do it really well, that really relaxed present moment awareness for 2 or 3 minutes, rather than sit there for 20, but for 17 of those minutes you were daydreaming or making lists or what have you. So trying to do it shorter would be better. So the other thing I get asked is, what about thinking? What happens? I have so many thoughts through my meditation. How come? Why is this happening? The thing is, our mind's job is to think. It keeps us alive with safety cues, and it's telling us a story all the time. So it's always going to do that. While we're meditating, we can soften the noise a little bit by returning to an object of our attention, where we're going to practice a little bit later with 3 different objects to test what might work for you. But the thoughts will still come, but they will begin to soften with practice. They come a little bit quieter. So meditation is this present moment relaxed awareness. So being aware and conscious of the thought, but not trying to shut it down, just knowing, of course I'm going to think, that's my job, right? My mind's job. And then just accepting it, noticing it, and letting it go by returning to that object of our attention, which we'll discuss later. So sometimes people think that if they're sitting and relaxing, daydreaming and thinking about, I don't know, anything, just thinking, ruminating, that is meditation, but it's not. Meditation is very much a relaxed state of mind with non-judgment of any thoughts, and you're not following the thoughts that do arise. You just notice them and let them go. Another question I get asked is around comfort. So what do I do if I'm really uncomfortable sitting on the floor, or I've got a really sore knee, I can't really sit with my legs crossed? Comfort is interesting, and again, like I said in the beginning, to be able to settle into that relaxed state of awareness, you need to feel safe. So your body needs to feel safe, and you need to feel emotionally that you can do this without any kind of danger or interruption. So discomfort can be a cue for you to move your body into a more comfortable position if that is going to make you feel safer, in which case settle into a more relaxed state of awareness. Or you can actually use that discomfort to as your focus of attention and let it help you go deeper into your meditation. So when I was in labor, I actually used meditation with this present moment awareness to really focus on the sensations of the labor, and that helped me deepen my meditation, and I had a very profound experience. So you can approach the discomfort in either way, either getting comfortable so you feel safer, or using it to go deeper if you're comfortable to do that. Now, I was also asked, can I meditate while I'm running? And I want to clarify here, there are many, many kinds of meditation, and not all of them involve sitting still with your eyes closed. I personally love coloring in, and that is a very meditative practice for me. My mind is relaxed, I'm aware, I'm conscious of what I'm doing, and those thoughts are present, but they're not intrusive, right? So I'm relaxed and I'm focused in my coloring. So if you can have a run and also maintain that present moment awareness, being very aware of where you are in the world, your body, and where you are within that, and being very present with your body while it's moving, not thinking a million thoughts, just coming back to perhaps the sensation of your feet on the ground as your anchor. You can absolutely use meditation, running as your meditation practice. So that might be a way that you can combine your activities so that you can squeeze meditation into your day, because I know that it's hard. It's another thing we feel like we have to do. So if you can combine it with things that you enjoy or that you already do, that's going to be another motivating factor for you so you can continue, because you want to do it every day. So another question I got asked was, I keep falling asleep. How am I supposed to do this? I keep falling asleep. My number one response here is try sitting up. We're trying to have a relaxed awareness. So lying down is very relaxing, but it's also a cue for our body to fall asleep. So trying to sit up, upright, back straight, feet on the floor. You're having to hold yourself up to a level that your mind is alert and aware, and if you slouch, your body will feel it, so your mind will go with it. So sitting up straight will help you to maintain an alertness, a relaxed level of alertness. So you can think of it like a lion, right? A lion in the savannah. She's laying there, she's got her head up, but her eyes are sort of gently closed. She's in and out of eyes, just very relaxed, but absolutely aware of her surroundings, right? She's aware of everything that's going on without judgment, just this relaxed awareness. So think like a lion and maybe leave your eyes open instead of closing them. if falling asleep is one of the issues that you find. You can also try not doing it before you go to sleep. If you want to sleep, then meditating before you sleep is a good idea. If you want to feel energized, doing meditation before you go to sleep may have the opposite effect. So work with your body. You'll find what's naturally your rhythm, and whether you want to do it to feel energized or to feel relaxed enough to go to sleep. It comes down to that safety issue again, and whether your body feels safe enough to fully relax. I have also had a question around the difference between mindfulness and meditation. And this is a good question, and it's, let me see if I can describe it. So meditation would be the umbrella term for a range of practices. And mindfulness would be one kind of meditation practice, if that makes sense. So meditation contains a range of styles, and mindfulness is one of those styles. And mindfulness is really about that present moment awareness of your thoughts. So sort of observing what's happening in your mind while you're meditating without judgment. It's a matter of noticing, observing, and just letting them be. You don't follow along with it. You just observe and watch and see what patterns emerge for you. Then when you bring mindfulness practice into your daily life, you begin to be aware of your behaviors and your patterns, what triggers you and what sort of things are making you behave a certain way. So mindfulness is a practice. You practice in your meditation and then you bring it into your life. And once you notice those patterns, you can begin to do something about it. Meditation, that meditative state of relaxed present moment awareness, is also a practice. We practice in meditation in order to bring it into our lives. It allows us to bring that non-judgment, calm, relaxed awareness and presence into everything that we do in life. Presence is something that so many of us miss. We are often doing more than one thing at a time. There's very little that we give our full attention to, and that's what meditation is. You're giving your full attention to the state of mind of present moment awareness, and nothing else is going to disrupt that. And then you take that into your life and you can perform your activities and your life with presence. You can really be there for people and with people in a much more authentic and full way. I think people really appreciate having someone who's with them who's very, very present. So that was really all of the questions that had come up, but if you do have any, throw them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. So now, before we begin a little meditation practice, I wanted to just run through some very basic skills that you would need. So get yourself comfortable because we're going to do a little practice afterwards. So if you want to grab a glass of water and a blanket and find a quiet place to sit, we will go through a practice. So while you're doing that, I'll run through some basics. So while we're meditating, we want to maintain that relaxed state of mind, and we do that with an object of attention. This object of attention is also called an anchor, and it just is something to keep returning to every time we find that we have drifted down a train of thought or have gotten off topic, or anytime. And we may need to do this 100 times in our practice, it doesn't matter. We just keep coming back to our object of attention, our anchor, that we will have established before going into meditation. It's often the breath or a mantra, and we're going to try a few things when we practice, and you can find something that works for you. The other thing is you want to sit upright, but you want to be comfortable. So a high-backed chair will support your back, and maybe some cushions. So surround yourself with whatever you need to feel comfortable so that you feel safe enough to relax. perhaps you need a quiet environment away from other people to do this. And then eventually with practice, you'll be able to do it in a busy airport. It's totally, but practice in the beginning, let's find somewhere where we can feel safe enough to relax. So we want to sit upright. That also tells our brain that we are alert and aware and not going to fall asleep. Now, the way that we breathe through meditation is also important. We're going to do a sort of diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing technique where you take some slow, deep breaths and you breathe gently throughout the meditation with this belly breathing style. It helps to relax the body because it triggers or stimulates the vagus nerve, which sends really calming signals to the brain, helps us to settle into that space of quietness much quicker. In the belly breathing technique, it can feel a little bit strange at first because we so often don't breathe this way. When we are anxious, stressed, we often breathe from our upper chest, very shallow, but we want to be directing the breath down to our lower belly area. And so what this does is it feels like when you breathe in, your belly pops out, and when you exhale, your belly pops back in. We often breathe the other way around. So let's just have a little practice of the belly breathing technique here. If you want to place your hands on your lower belly, if that's comfortable for you. And if you begin with an audible sigh and exhale all the air, your next inhalation is automatically going to come into that lower belly area. So you can begin like that. I'll do it with you. Did you notice the belly popping out as you breathed in? It means the air is reaching our lungs really low, lower in our lungs. So let's try that again. Okay, so it might feel a little strange, but that's the sort of breathing we want to maintain, and it takes practice, and that's okay. So while we're breathing like this, we're going to be focusing on our object of attention and remaining upright. So I'm going to do 3 anchors or objects of attention, and we're going to have a little turn practicing each one, and then we will pick one that you want to work with and we'll do a short meditation practice. So I'd like to let you know that all of these suggestions as we work through the guided meditation, they are just suggestions. Please do what you feel comfortable doing. If I say words you don't like or you feel uncomfortable with, please change them to words that you are comfortable with. This is all about helping you to have this present moment relaxed awareness and really enjoy a meditation. So the choice is yours throughout all of this. You're in charge of your experience, okay? You can stop at any time if it feels uncomfortable, or you don't have to continue with the suggestions at all. It's up to you. So I would invite you to find your quiet place to sit, upright, and if you are comfortable, closing your eyes gently, or you could half close them and just gaze ahead at the floor. Just really soft gaze like that lion, aware of all that is around you, without judgment, without fear, just awareness. And now that we have checked our body, we check our breath. So you can try for the relaxed belly breathing, but otherwise don't let it stress you out. Just breathe as you will, as you do. Just breathe. And as you settle into a rhythm that is comfortable for you, we check our mind that we are giving this exercise our 100% attention. We're performing it with our heart and soul because we want to enjoy the many benefits that meditation brings with repeated practice. So we have checked our body, we have checked our breath, we have checked our mind. We're now going to experiment with the first object of attention, or anchor. We're going to focus on the body. You may choose perhaps your feet on the floor, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the feeling of your butt on the chair, the feeling of the support at your back, or perhaps the feeling of your hands. Pick something that you resonate with, and we're just going to spend a few minutes cultivating a relaxed state of awareness, very present in our body. This is supposed to be enjoyable. And every time you begin to wander into thought or worry or concern or am I doing it right, just take a breath and return to your object of awareness, object of attention, your anchor. Being gentle with yourself if you have to return again and again and again. It's natural, it's normal. When we're beginning to learn something new, it takes practice. It's something we naturally do, but we also still need to practice to maintain that state of mind. Now we're going to try using a sound as our object of attention. So, still remaining present with our body, relaxed and aware. Just be aware of the sounds that you can hear. Don't search for them, just let them arrive in your ears. There may be many sounds, or you may like to focus on one particular sound. And what you do is, if you begin to think or get lost in daydream, just bring your awareness really gently, really compassionately back to the sound. And now we'll try our experiment with our third object of attention. This time we'll try the breath. So if you're comfortable, follow the path of your breath through your nose, down past your throat and heart, down deep into your lungs, and then back out again. Just paying attention to the sensations of the breath as it moves through the nostrils and through your body. And every time you get distracted, begin down a train of thought, just return to the breath and the sensation of it moving through your body. Okay, now that we have practiced with 3 different anchors, I invite you to pick one that you found the easiest to start with. So that might have been your body, feeling your feet on the floor, your back against the chair. I really like the symbolism of the focusing on the support at my back. I'm always supported. It sort of builds that positive feeling of feeling supported. So whether you wanted to focus on your body or a sound or your breath, you pick what you enjoy, what you found easiest to work with, and we're going to have a really short practice. We'll make it about 5 minutes. Okay, so it's not going to go on forever. Okay, so I invite you to close your eyes or gently leave them half open in that lion's gaze. Check your body again, upright. Make adjustments as needed. Check your breath, that it is slow and relaxed. Trying for the belly breathing if you can. And then check your mind, that we are focused here and now. And reaffirm to yourself what your object of attention will be. Just pick one. And with that in mind, we'll begin our practice. Relaxed, present moment awareness. And when thoughts arise, as they will, just simply notice them. Don't judge them as good or bad, right or wrong. Just notice, thought, okay, and come back to your object of attention. Every time a thought arises, you have an opportunity to practice self-compassion and non-judgment, bringing yourself gently back to your object of attention. takes practice. So just be gentle with yourself. Bringing your attention back to the object of your awareness. Sorry, the object of your attention. Every time you become distracted. When you're ready to end the practice, let go of that object of attention, that anchor. Just let go of the practice of focus and just relax. Just sit in that space, noticing how you feel. A little more present perhaps, a little more grounded, a little calmer. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a very short meditation practice to get a feel for it. I know that it can be difficult at the beginning. So I also want to encourage you, because there are so many benefits of meditating, and it really is a beautiful way to develop a nice relationship with yourself, and practicing that compassion for yourself and non-judgment. And then we carry those through. When we practice in meditation, we then carry it through into the rest of our lives, and we become improved versions of ourselves, I think. So I love it. I hope you enjoyed it too. So that's our practice for today. And I did want to let you know that I have set up a beginner's meditation practice. So from next Wednesday, for the next 4 Wednesdays, I'm going to do an live online guided meditation at Wednesday lunchtimes for about 4 sessions I've put it in for. So we can really practice together in a group, live online, just to bring in a bit of chill into our day, just to break that monotony of your day perhaps, or just insert some calm in there. So that'll be Wednesdays, the next 4 Wednesdays. If you want to have a look at it, it's on my website, creativehealingguidance.com. You'll find it on the main page there, or under services, meditation classes. So everyone is welcome to come along. It's designed specifically for beginners to give you a really good chance to ask all your questions, really get down to how I can help you. Okay, so thank you very much for coming along, and enjoy the rest of your day.